Tourer or Touring Enduro? Which motorcycle is the right choice for you? In Andalusia we gather again a lot of experience with the two motorcycles and reflect. Which category is better? Which model is more fun in real life? The BMW R1250 GS is considered an almost invincible motorcycle. But what if we pit it against a supposed underdog? Because the category of adventure bikes has been very successful in recent years, while the luxury tourer category is not fought over with as much ambition. The supposed underdog clearly comes from the family. We are talking about the BMW R1250 RT in this test. We will pit the 2020 models against each other, so the RT still gets by without the huge new TFT display. However, both motorcycles share the magnificent BMW Boxer engine. Let's take a look at the differences. The BMW R1250 GS, with 190mm in the front and 200mm in the rear, naturally has significantly more suspension travel than the BMW R1250 RT with 120mm in the front and 136mm in the rear. The RT relies on classic road wheels, so 17 inches rims front and rear, whereby 180mm wide tires are mounted at the rear. The GS has 19 inches rims mounted at the front and gets by with 170mm wide tires at the rear. The seat height of the RT ranges from 805 to 825mm. The GS is slightly higher at 850 to 870mm. Thus, the slightly taller GS looks a bit more menacing at first glance. On the other hand, the RT is considerably heavier. This is due to the extensive equipment, the lush fairing, but not least also the 5 liters of additional fuel in the tank. The RT weighs, according to BMW, 279 kilograms. Ready to ride, the GS comes to 249 kilograms. Accordingly, the brakes on the RT are also slightly more powerful. Here are 2 times 320mm discs installed in front. On the GS you have to make do with 305mm discs. Both share the engine, which produces 136 horsepower and 143 Nm torque from 2 cylinders. Depending on the equipment, an RT is about 2,000 to 3,000 euros more expensive than a GS of the same age. Needless to say, both motorcycles rely on the proven kart and drive. In a direct comparison, the GS always impresses with its great control over the vehicle, even at low speeds. This is probably due to the wide handlebars. The overall ergonomics on this motorcycle are simply fantastic, and the combination of riding comfort, fun and versatility always sets standards. We were once again able to extensively test the advantages of the 19 inches front wheel. During the direct comparison in Andalusia, we also drove on bad asphalt again and again. Where it is already a bit tedious on the RT, you can still enjoy the ride in the saddle of the GS quite relaxed. Of course, this is also due to the longer suspension travel and the resulting versatility. Thanks to the electronic chassis, you can enjoy the long suspension travel in the saddle of the GS, but you hardly notice the disadvantages. Even at high speeds, the bike is stable and precise. We were also personally convinced by the huge range of accessories for the BMW R1250 GS without any problems. Our desired luggage system was available from SW Motec within a very short time. We installed a Pro GS tank bag, a Trax DV aluminum pannier system in black, and crash bars and cylinder guards were also mounted. Both motorcycles were rented to us by Hispanitours. The fleet totals 80 motorcycles. Here, too, the focus is on the BMW R1250 GS. This all-rounder is also the most popular motorcycle with vacation travelers overall. Did the BMW R1250 RT stand any chance at all here? In fact, it was the weather that revealed the advantages of the RT. Early in the morning and late in the evening it was very cold in the mountains around Ronda. With temperatures around 5 degrees, one felt in no way impaired in the saddle of the RT. The gigantic windshield simply keeps environmental influences away from you, and even a small rain shower passes the pilot without a trace. Without a direct comparison, you wouldn't have noticed the difference. But when it comes to wind protection and weather protection, the RT is really clearly superior to the GS. The entire aerodynamics are much more finely drawn, which means that you are better protected from the tip of your boots to your helmet. Even though the GS electronic suspension makes the Enduro chassis precise and stable, the RT is still better. It is certainly also due to the aerodynamics, but also the chassis, that the RT simply glides confidently through the corner at higher speeds, whereby the advantages of the RT become noticeable from around 100 km per hour. From 30 to 100 km per hour, the handling feels quite equal. Below 30 km per hour, maneuvers are even easier with the GS. The RT also has no problem with narrow streets and difficult bends due to the flawless boxer engine. It is a motorcycle that easily masters demanding tours and keeps up in most passages with the GS without any problems. Where the asphalt gets really bad, however, it comes to the limit sooner and has to let the GS pull. Overall, the GS is certainly a bit more accessible and more pleasant for taller riders. Whereas I had a wonderful time with 185 cm height also on the RT, quite frankly, I then preferred to reach for the key of the RT after the 4th day. That surprised me myself, because during a ride I thought I could do without Kalimodo's navigation solution. I ended up in an off-road passage and had to torture the heavy RT for several kilometers through stony tracks. But this torment was quickly forgotten. In the end, I appreciated the incredible sovereignty of the RT in combination with the terrific weather protection. So it was possible for me to ride wonderful tours late into the evening, even in bitter cold. So the RT really surprised me in a positive way. This increases the anticipation for my trip with the new model in 2022, because the new machine should be even better. But the GS is also due for a thorough overhaul in the near future, so the duel remains exciting.